This video will be covering everything we know about Mongil Star Dive. So Mongil Star Dive will be coming out on April 15th. I'm going to go over a bunch of stuff that has already came out about the game, including the live stream that they did over on their official YouTube channel. If you go over here to the website, as you guys can see, there is a pre-registration. You have the character listing, world preview, we have a video preview, and the news as well, and a media kit. Pre-registration is going to apply to a specific PC version, which we love to see: Epic Store, Apple, and Android. With this being the case, console will be coming out later, featuring on Xbox and PlayStation. Moving on, when it comes to pre-registering, obviously you don't have to pre-register to give Francis. Everyone will give Francis for everyone pre-registering in general. It's just to get you to pre-register. Couple characters they have listed here. They have the 2D version of them and the 3D version of them as well, including some characters that we are not able to view yet right here, who are going to be coming soon. And just to keep note, this is not a gacha game where it's going to be waifu only. It will have waifu and husbandos. Now, the whole premise of Mongil Star Dive, not only is it going to be a semi-open world, it's more of a instance open world game, so it will be a combat focused game, but it also will include monster taming as well. Obviously, going over the enemies, you have this entire world, which I would assume is going to be limited, but obviously expanded over time. The monsters themselves, and then we have the monsterlings, which we will get into. And then moving on the website, you guys are able to check the news notice down here. Pre-registration, they do have the requirements when it comes to how to actually play the game, what requirements you need to actually run it, recommended and the minimum. Moving on from here, they do have some codes as well. If you haven't joined their Discord, you're able to get a server tag from them, and they will be having a developer live stream actually today in a couple hours, which I will be covering this as well. Moving on from that, let's actually go into the launch events over here on Reddit on Gacha Gaming. Shout out to Aiden. So they were able to actually cover a little bit of the images they showed over on Netmarble for the events of the game. So no 50-50 in this game. It's going to be 100% 90 pity, 1% rate up soft pity at the 76 pull, which is obviously going to be pretty nice. Let's pre-register. Again, we're going to be getting all of these items anyways, but there's going to be a event recruitment for Esther, which Esther is actually pretty good when we go over the tier list and this whole database, which will also be linked in the description down below. Once you reach 90 pulls, you'll be guaranteed to get this character. There's going to be another redeem code, which is Love Mongil, and you're going to have this artifact. Every single character will have artifacts that they can equip, and there's going to be one specific to them, which will help them out way more than a random one. So going to see another code there. We have a check-in event with the tickets, assuming they're going to be standard pulls and then the limited pulls, and that's what is shown there. Let's move on. I'm actually going to go down here to the time listing here. Shout out to Park. And let's actually show less here so it's easier. So when I go over the combat system itself, when it comes to combat system, it is essentially revolving around a 3-player system. So something that we are very used to in these games nonetheless. And it's actually fairly easy. It's not really that competitive like other ARPGs on the market. It's pretty simple, and there's actually not a lot of gimmicks you really have to look after. Going over the monsters, so monsters are basically just going to be part of a monster taming. Think of this like if you are interested in Pokemon, this is basically like a Pokédex or any monster collection game. You want to try to collect as many monsters as possible. Some of them actually look pretty cute, but it's just a codex collection. You guys are able to mutate them and they become your companions as well. Tamed monsters can fight alongside you and grow. After you get the monsters, you are able to create them into link chains, and then you have different stats here that you will be able to get and different traits as well. So obviously I will make a video on what best link chains to go for certain characters and whatnot, because obviously in the beginning it's going to be very confusing, but once you get the hang of it, I assume will be fairly simple. Now let's actually go back down here, and they have a combat system introduction, and they have their first mode that they want to talk about is the dimensional rift. Now when it comes to the dimensional rift, just to summarize this is going to be end game content, and what you want to do in this game mode is you want to defeat waves of enemies within a time limit, and the monsters can also be captured within this game mode. So when we skip ahead here, as you guys can see the combat, yes, it's very flashy, but it is a very instance kind of basic combat. Once you actually do defeat a monster, as you guys can see, you are able to have the ability to capture them, and it is a set chance, it is not guaranteed. You have a boss room here as well in the dimensional rift, so I guess they're just going to fight out. They have a little nice little falling QTE system, and shows like a little tag system. And this is pretty much the end of the run. So at the end of the run of the dimensional rift, you'll get a scoring here and the materials and everything that you actually were able to collect within that time frame. So dimensional rift is what you're going to be looking for to get those monster links, to get nice combinations for your characters, as you guys can see here. Customization actually looks pretty fun. Actually looks pretty cute as well. Moving on, they do have the next game mode, which is going to be Conquest. So Conquest is going to be the game mode that clearly revolves more around bossing. So currently right now, the first boss that you're going to be going over is this boss right here, which will revolve around the wind element. So really what you're looking for is obviously the Esther, but you really want to utilize wind element in the beginning of this game to take advantage. Now again, this is a PvE game. There's no reason to rush at all whatsoever. There's no PvP in the game, so just keep in mind, I mean, it's been years at a lot of these games, all kind of look the same in concept. We know how this goes. There's no reason to rush. Just play who you want to play, and if you suffer, well, you know why. So they're pretty much going over the stagger system as well. So if you guys can see, you guys are able to stagger. So attacking the boss builds up a stagger gauge, engage at the bottom. If you activate a Neander skill within the time limit, the boss will enter a different state. So that is the Neander skill, as you guys can see here. So nice way to actually kind of liven up the combat. It helps actually build up to reach the stagger, and then when the enemy is stagger, obviously it's going to end up taking more damage, so that's why they're spamming their ultimates to do as much damage as possible. And this is pretty much going to be the end content of sorts, and you're just going to want to actually complete this as much as possible. I'm assuming it will give you bonus for how fast you can, since there is a time limit. Yeah, so there is a scoring with a time limit here, and I'm assuming you get as many materials as you can depending on how fast you actually do defeat the enemy. Besides that, nothing else really to go over here. It's just everything I pretty much showed on the Reddit, which was screenshots from this. Get animated profile background, which is pretty nice. And that is going over that. Now I'm going to go over this website really quickly, which will be in the description down below. But we have these two codes here, and pretty much everything I already explained here. Intro to the game, how the main story actually works. So they actually have a story system where you can actually go more casual or more action dependent. I'm assuming this will actually skip, the story part will actually skip more battles, and then Path of Dusk will have those more battles. Game will have farming, obviously we'll have special events. There's going to be 4 different classes as well. link chains that we already talked about, 2 game modes in the end game as well, and then you will have your gear farming. Essentially, core gameplay loop is going to be like every other, kind of ARPG. You end up building your team, and then you have tag skills by swapping with combat, which tag skills are going to be essentially like the QTE, click your monster links, progress your story, etc., etc. When it comes to the gacha system, we already, checked it out. There is no 50-50, and it is going to be a 90 pity, but it's a 1% and a 6% for 4 stars as well. Now there will be I believe this is a beginner banner. Oh yeah, this is the beginner banner, as you guys see on the bottom here, so just keep that in mind. Moving on, they do have the tier list here as well. As you guys can see, there are male characters, but apparently there are down here. Hopefully we do get some meta male characters. We do have Benjamin, which I think Benjamin actually looks really cool. I'm actually surprised Benjamin's even a 4-star, which is absolutely absurd to me. But when it comes to Conquest, Conquest is going to be simply that PvE game mode where you're going through the stages, and Dimensional Rift is going to be the one that revolves around the boss. And as I said, when it comes to wind element, that is why these Esther is going to be very, very popular for you. So you're most likely going to end up pulling for Esther. Now, before I do end off this video, I do want to go over one more thing, so we can check out the game content, and this is actually going to be very important for people. So there is a path system, so various type of dungeons as well. Complete this and spend your stamina on this, which is pretty nice. Have Conquest, which I already showed. Conquest seems to be 3 out of 3. I'm assuming 3 times a day. Rewards are subject to a weekly limit. No, this is actually weekly. Okay, so it's a weekly limit, 3 out of 3. Dimensional Rift as well. And this is also subject to a weekly limit. We have request boards. So you have to defeat selected enemies, and then you end up getting these rewards. Gathering system is going to be mining, cooking, crafting, whenever racing as well. Equipped monster link can participate in races as the racer and have different stats here as well. Chasing system. Okay. Then we have a infiltrating system. So I'm assuming infiltration is to attack the enemies without them noticing. There's going to be puzzles as well. That's going to be the main core of Mongil Star Dive. So thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like and subscribe if you guys haven't it already. Go ahead and pre-register for the game if you haven't yet. It is coming out in 5 days, pretty much 4 days at this point. So if you guys are going to be playing, hope you guys do enjoy. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't yet already, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.